Okay. Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. How you doing? It's Linda G, and we got hold on, I'm messed up here. We got Sybil Harmony in the room, and you guys remember her? I've been on with her. Hi, Ron. Hi, Serenity. Hi, Lisa. Hi, you guys. 497 in the room already.
Wow, cool.
Dang. And FYI, our San Francisco event is sold out. If you want to be on the waiting list, go to grindle9103@gmail.com and ask to be on the waiting list. Hi, Dan. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Grandma. FYI, also, for those of you who wanted to know what I'm going to do, pick a card for members only. That begins, I think, July 8th. I'm going back to it because as you can tell, I'm feeling better and I'm way more rested. Sybil, I did that Sedona event and probably did 80 people in 2 days.
Wow.
Oh, Dan, that's right. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Dan. Happy birthday. So what you doing today, Dan? You going to strip clubs? What's going on? So he's such a drinker. Sometimes I can't stop him calling me drunk, slurring his words. That is the absolute lie. You guys don't even believe that. So happy birthday to wonderful Dan. Oh, he's not doing nothing. The wife and kids aren't taking you out or anything like that? I'll tell you what, if you lived out here, I wouldn't do nothing either. So you guys, as you know, unfortunately, the Supreme Court has decided that no more you being of a certain race can they use that to let you into college. But it's okay if your father pays $2.5 million to the college to make sure that his white children get in. Mm. So, and also, return to Jim Crow. Exactly. And also, I'd like us to look at that. I'd also like us to look at the other one with that fraud woman. Apparently, she said a guy wanted her to do a gay wedding site. He's like absolutely denying it. He's in shock because he never asked her to do. It's a fraud. It's a fake. So they got all these Christians to come up and they're all excited that they were able to say, so what's next? Because now businesses are looking at that. We don't have to hire you because you're gay, So this is going backwards in time. So I will tell you my head initially.
Okay. I got my cards ready.
All this will be turned around.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Now, I know the president does not want to pack the court, but he may be forced to in 2024 when he wins and we go on again with this new administration. People will be looking at him and saying, we got you in here. Now get rid of this bull. Okay. So, and also, I don't know if it still takes place, but Harvard, the Comanche Indians had agreement with Harvard that if you were if you were accepted, well, you could go to Harvard as a Comanche Indian, carte blanche. They would pay for everything.
Mm.
I was 50 when I found this out, so too late for me. Okay, so
They didn't change that, did they?
I don't know. I'll call my tribe and find out.
So what's the question? Is
The
Biden
question
going to
is-
fix this, or is it going to turn around?
It's all in one loop. The question is, tell me about this Congress. Will what they say hold? Because it feels like what they're doing is, I think President Biden was correct. It's against the Constitution. Even Sotomayor, how do you pronounce her name?
Sotomayor.
She
Right.
said it's against the Constitution what they're doing. And I think they'll be able to go in there and change this. They just need to bring, because Steve Miller did a video on Twitter and said, I'm just giving you a heads up. Anybody tries to work around this week, we're going to do lawsuits. And I thought, good, because those lawsuits can go before the new Supreme Court and it'll be reversed. Hey, listen, the Supreme Court's the one that said that slaves were only what, 3/5 of a person?
Hmm.
Things change. You know what I'm saying? Pack the court. Exactly, Lynn. Okay, so let's take a look at the Supreme Court. This Supreme Court, will they be stopped from all this craziness? Oh, and then some woman was up there telling Biden, they just want to smear Biden. So you promised that you would do this, and it didn't occur. And he turned to her. Did you see that? He snapped at her, and he said, I didn't bow down on my promise. The Supreme Court misinterpreted the Constitution. Yeah. And the other thing I would have said is, and are you talking like Trump, who promised he would give us the best health care ever?
We're still waiting. No.
Okay. By the way, Sybil, don't let me forget how people can get a hold of you.
Oh, I have a channel. And my name's spelled differently, but I'm at Sybil Harmony, or also my website is sybilharmony.com. Easy.
Now, I posted on this link, it's got your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Copied from the YouTube channel.
Okay, great.
So if they go to that, they just have to go to About and get all your information, right?
Right.
Well,
yeah, they can find me there, or they can find me through the channel. Yeah, that's
because I remember the last time we read, I thought you were pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so let's
so
look.
You weren't saying this Congress is going to change it, or the new Congress that's coming
Well, just tell me about this Congress.
This Congress,
which has only a 20% approval rating. You know, can I tell you something in the back of my head? When they fortunately stood up for voting rights, thank God they did that, because that's our ticket to get rid of them. But anyway, and when they did that one and they announced and everybody was all happy, and I thought, uh-oh, they're getting ready to turn on us.
To do something.
They always do that. They give you one piece of happy information, and then they turn around and screw you over. Yeah, I want Stephen Miller to sue us.
Stephen Miller to what?
He said if anybody tries to change, any school tries to change the thing and put in people based on color, he'll sue them.
Uh-huh.
I said, yeah, sue them, and then we'll take it back to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
There's some good news coming in down the road, but there's a lot of battling within the Supreme Court. I wouldn't doubt if the 3 judges that are on the side of democracy don't even talk to them. There's some hard feelings here. What do you get, girlfriend?
Well, I see Biden going up to the court. I don't know when this would happen, but I see him walking past where all the judges are, and he's opening the door like somebody's got to go. I don't know. I don't feel like he can do that. He can't make somebody go, but no. In his time, or he can influence. But as far as this Congress changing you mean the House?
Yeah, I see Congress.
Kevin McCarthy's house?
I see us voting in Biden again, and we hold the Senate plus, and we
Oh,
hold
okay. In 2024, yeah, I see them definitely changing that. Yeah.
I see people.
But this Congress, Kevin McCarthy's in there now. They're not going to do anything.
No, they're not going to do it. No, he can't pack it now, but he'll have the option to be able to pack it, and I think he does. I think he's talked in.
I think he's going to go in there and do something, because I see what I'm seeing is they're all sitting there, and he walks up and he opens the gate. He's like, I'm going to make some changes here.
Let me tell you something else. It'll be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump was an illegitimate president.
Yeah.
And when it might even occur after the death of Trump, but I think they will be, according to the Constitution, the way it's written, if a president is found to be illegitimate, everything he does is reversed.
Oh.
Or everything he did is reversed. So
I see that new Congress. I'm getting a big yes on new Congress in 2024 coming in and making some changes, because they've gone too far now. They've really just, yeah.
Anne said, Linda, did you watch Stephen Greer's National Press Club and got the C5 app? Will the shadow government private corporation war projects be brought to the light? Yes, they will. Absolutely. So, okay. Lisa, do you have with you Sybil's link to? Can you post that, and I'll post it on here? Oh, so look at this. Dirty Laundry says, I love Dirty Laundry. I can't pay mine. It's horrible trying to find a job as well. And they passed that thing where you can't file bankruptcy on school loans, and you can't file bankruptcy on medical loans. And some guy on Twitter said, well, it is well known that you're supposed to save money for your children's college education. I said, yeah, back in 1950, 1960. I said, but nowadays you can't make the money considering the rates they're charging. And, God forbid you lose your job. God forbid you get sick and have to pay outrageous medical bills. God forbid your house gets taken because of fraudulent mortgages. But by all means, you make sure that you put money away. Listen, when I was young, my dad could have done that. It was basically, you're on your own. But in my day, it was $23 a semester or something like that.
Yeah.
Your best bet, you guys, and I'm going to tell you something. 1,180, girlfriend.
Wow.
My son went, let me tell you, do the 2-year junior college. I know that some people are like, no, I want to go straight into 4-year. If you've got issues with money and you don't get scholarships, go into the 2-year program. And then when you finish, you automatically, if you pick a college, you can go in as a junior. You don't go in as a freshman. And let me tell you another little tidbit that I found out when I took my son down to the junior college, because my son messed up in high school. He graduated with straight A's, but he went through a bad year. You know how kids are. And they said, this counselor, she told us, she said, get him into a junior college post high school, because if he gets into a junior college and then transferred to a regular, he doesn't have to take the SAT. So I said, that's what the way we're going to do. And their GPA doesn't matter there, except in junior college. So the other tidbit I want to give you guys is there was a girl there that got accepted in every single school and I'm talking top-notch schools, every single one of them. And I asked the lady, how the hell did she do that? And yeah, you might have to repeat some of the courses, but I'm just saying, if you can't afford it, you can always do a state college, state junior college into a state college. And so but then I asked, why did this woman get in? And she said she belonged to everything. Joined clubs pertaining to, like my son wanted to be a physicist. Join clubs pertaining to that, to your interest, or if you want to get into politics or film or whatever. Join clubs, even subscriptions to magazines count. So this lady belonged to everything, this young girl. And she got accepted because it looks like she's involved, because my kids are like me, they're lazy. You know, they just wanted to go to school. The thought of them having a job doing, but this gal hustled, you know, she volunteered for programs and stuff. Like I had Jacob come with me to volunteer for something political, and he could put that on his resume.
Yeah.
So, and Dan says, here's the thing, college is way, yeah, and it keeps going up. So people from the 1960s, you can't afford colleges. Oh no, 35% interest rate for the my younger son Peter did exactly that. He went to community and went to Rutgers as a junior and did wonderful. Yeah, I'm feeling that Biden will make junior college free. I don't know how much it costs now. I paid for Jake, but it wasn't enough to hurt. That, you know, I'll tell you what hurt was the books, and then we found out you can order used books on Amazon.
Yeah, I feel like he makes junior college free.
Yeah. So, oh, Sybil, I got to tell you this other story.
Is he going to reverse? Yeah.
So thank you, Sydney. So SCOTUS can take money from billionaires, millionaires don't have to pay back PPP loans, millions, giving money to oil companies, bank bailouts, auto company bailouts, but don't help students, don't deserve help. So I got to tell you this other story. I think I reposted it. By the way, my Twitter is Hope Springs 9103. Hope Springs, which is SPRNGS 9103. That's my third Twitter. So I don't know if you saw this, Sybil, but there was the Satan talking to a crowd, and some woman raised her hand and he pointed, and she kind of told him off. She said, you know, you're worthless, you're this, you're that. And very strongly, she said it out loud. And then she sat down and he said, well, how many people are here because they're going to vote for me as president? One person raised their hand.
Oh my God.
And he said, I got to post it. I think I posted on YouTube. I'll find out. He said, well, that's uncomfortable. One person raised their hand. Let me tell you something, you guys. I got this hit this morning. I think I've told you guys before. Trump's, like they said, North Carolina looks pretty packed. He's having an event there. Well, he pays a lot of people, one. Number two, I hate to say this. This is between us. If Trump was in my neck of the woods, I hate to say this, I would go just to see the circus act. Do you know what I mean? The people are weird. The whole thing's weird. I probably wouldn't go if it's inconvenient, like I got to do my nails. But I think a lot of people, and they say a lot of people sometimes show up and a lot of people leave at the same time. Like once he starts talking in 20 minutes, they go. But I'm not worried about crowds. And this morning on MSNBC, very early, I was semi in and out, and then I turned it off because Joe Scarborough was saying, and this is Saturday, and he was on a Saturday, that apparently Trump's numbers are going up or something. And he was worried about it, but I wasn't. I was like, this is a bunch of bull. Nobody cares about numbers. Remember, they thought Biden didn't have a chance, and 80 million people voted for him in the primaries. Listen, Amanda said, I think a lot of people go to see Trump in the circus act. They're not there because they're supporting him. Yes. It's just like that. The Satan thing was cool.
Yeah.
And he said, who here is going to vote for me in president? One person raised their hand. Okay, you guys. God, a lot of people are giving call. We got 1,378 Sunday,
Wow.
Saturday morning. Why? I feel like it's Sunday. And Massachusetts State College are cheaper than many. Yeah. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people who went to state college and are doing great.
Yeah, those are some good tips.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I want everybody to know.
Yeah.
The 411. How about you, Sybil? Do you have any questions you want to?
Well, did we look at, will Biden be able to legally overturn the student loan ruling? Because he's gonna, he said he's working on it.
They're coming up with a plan.
What? They're coming up with a plan. Yeah, before the next election. Well, there's, you said there's going to be lawsuits, and I just want to pull a card for, well.
What are you seeing?
So the question is, will Biden be able to legally overturn or take them back to court to reverse the Supreme Court's decision?
I see it being reversed. I see a lot of stuff being reversed, especially.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be reversed, but do we have to wait till 2024?
Yeah.
Is it going to be reversed?
Yeah. We have to wait.
Before we have to wait. Yeah.
We have to. Oh, great. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Lisa. She's the host of Look at the Kitty.
Yeah.
My sister showed up when we were seeing my dad in Palo Alto when he was in the hospital. She showed up with all these scratch marks on her chest. I went, oh my God, what happened? And she said, Kitty didn't want to be hugged.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go to that Trump rally with a, Biden paraphernalia. So if you fit right in, they think you're one of them.
No,
because that could be scary. But yeah, it's. I used to know people. This friend of mine in Texas, he used to go to the rallies. I'm like, why are you doing that? You're not going to vote for him. He goes, no, it's fun. It's. I
thought I wouldn't mind before I die seeing one of those clown shows. But yeah, I would not wear Biden paraphernalia because I'm not as young as I used to be. Back in the day, though, if you pissed me off, I could fight.
Yeah, I don't think they have any rallies around here, though, right?
Huh?
I don't think they have any rallies. I'm in your area.
I don't know if he even goes to. I don't even think he comes. Does he ever come to California? He goes to those private where people are paying large money.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, people in this is a good one. Look at this.
Yeah, I saw him having. Okay, what's it?
About 4,043,978 people turn 18 every year. Wow. How many of these new voters will have gun control, women's reproductive rights, student loan debt, and LGBTQ rights? Absolutely.
Oh, let me fix my battery. Oh, hold on. I'll be right back.
Honey.
Okay. I didn't want to lose you there. I forgot to plug the switch on.
Positive.
So lots of new voters. Wow, it looks like
that's what's going to, that's why Trump
coming in.
That's why Trump won in the first place. People didn't come out and vote.
Right.
College students should protest. Absolutely. But I don't see that. But I do see them changing the interest rate.
Yeah.
It's just that they're just defying Congress and SCOTUS are going against. They're not at the pulse of America. They're just doing what these fanatics are saying to do.
Well, we made a mistake. I think we made a mistake when we let Mitch McConnell tell Obama, oh, you can't appoint somebody because it's an election year. And then Trump put in that woman 2 weeks before, or 3 days before he left office.
I know, after they lied.
We made a mistake letting him get away with stuff. We can't not do that.
Well, listen, after the new 2024 administration starts, they're going to start putting some things really firm.
Yeah.
That no, that's a lie. You can, whoever's in office, Republican or Democrat, chooses the next person. That's a bull.
Yeah.
But they have to make it known because these guys just made the rules as they went along. Gamma, I don't see after hours that she does see 2, maybe 3. I do too, and I keep seeing Thomas having to step down.
I see health issues with him after they're waiting. They're trying to hold on to after the election, and they're trying to push through whatever they can, thinking, I'm like, how do they think they're actually going to win? By cheating? By gerrymandering? How do they think they're actually going to stay in office? Well,
exactly.
The Republicans, but okay. So they're trying to push it. They're waiting. I see Thomas is waiting. He looks like he will say it's a health issue. Jenny Thomas is in trouble.
That's what I got. I got that when all these subpoenas come out, she's one of them.
Yeah. So he doesn't really want to be in the limelight. So it may be something like that. But Alito, I saw him leaving. I keep seeing him like in street clothes, and he gets his briefcase and his hat, and he turns around and he's leaving.
What do you think that's about?
Well, he's going to leave the court. I mean, everybody's going to leave at some point, but I feel like he may step down or ask to be removed. Thomas, I always saw a health issue or say it's a health issue.
Okay.
But Alito, I see him leaving. I thought, what is he leaving? The business deals? Well, they can't actually think they could still continue that now.
No, but
there may be more coming out.
Maybe in 24, when Biden takes over, they start doing things like you can't take all this money and tell us, whatever. They're going to have things that they can do to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I see Alito leaving.
Now, Alito and Thomas, I saw both of them looking at a calendar. Both of them.
Okay.
And I think they're thinking, if we can just hold off for the next presidential election, we'll step down. But what's going to happen is the Democrats take it again.
Yeah.
And then so they're like, well, the heat's too bad here. I got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he from what I understand, and my guides say, yes, Alito broke a law when the Supreme Court broke the law. How do you keep your
But
seat?
Nothing to see here. And even Thomas backs him.
And he,
not Thomas, Roberts. Roberts has health issues too.
Yeah. Oh, he does.
He has seizures.
Yeah. Yes, he does. I feel like maybe heart or he's super stressed. He doesn't like all this.
No, he wants you to
He wanted it to go back to let's just all act like everything's happy and fine.
Yeah. Well, thank God he talked Kavanaugh into doing the voting rights. That was so egregious if they had turned around and said, no, states can make their own choice of who can be president. That's bull.
No, but you got that exactly right. They give you a little something so you don't get too pissed. And then, oh, whoops. I was surprised they went that far.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody changed at the last minute or two, whatever. I was surprised they went that far.
Stephen Miller sends threatening letter to 200 schools telling them he'll sue if they consider race in applications.
Is that the guy?
That's the bald head guy, the mean one that had the children.
Right. He was, when I looked at him, he has a past life as a Nazi.
Oh my, he feels like one, yet he's Jewish.
That's a perfect comeback as Jewish. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be his chance to try to, but he didn't listen. He went all the way.
That's like Roseanne Barr saying, did she say that all the Jews deserve to die or they should all be dead? Then she said she was just making a sarcastic comment. Roseanne Barr, who's Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not, my son is half Jewish and I'm raising my grandson and he married a narcissistic Trump supporter. Now, when
grandson
I
did?
don't talk, what?
Your grandson or
No,
your
my
son?
My son's stepmother is a narcissistic Trump supporter. She said, "Oh, he's going to give us great health care." I'm like, "Well, he didn't do that. What do you think
TikTok.
now?" And they're like, "Well, we still like him." And then when all this insurrection stuff happened, and I'm like, now they're like, "Well, we don't want to talk about him anymore." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's
But
because
my grandson did not know. He's in high school here. He did not know that he's 1/4 Jewish. He's also part Navajo. He's gifted. He's a medium. He's part, but he saw the spirits when he was younger. But I kind of helped. He didn't want to. It was scaring him, so I helped him shut that down and stuff. But I'm part Cherokee a little bit, and so he's part that. But I'm like, you're at least 1/4 Jewish, and his dad didn't tell him. And they're talking all this stuff about
probably
Trump and
did
all.
the woman
I'm like,
know?
you're Jewish, right? You're half Jewish, and my grandson's 1/4 Jewish. And so he did this project. I asked the school, I'm like, are you going to teach them about World War II?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Are you going to teach them about World War II? And they said, yeah, that's coming. And so they did this year. He learned in 10th grade. They taught that. I'm like, good. They're teaching, our history. Their schools around here are pretty good.
Right.
But then he actually made a sculpture about the Holocaust, and he got a really good grade. And he's like, he comes home and he's like, Grandma, I'm 1/4 Jewish. And I'm like, I've been telling you that for years. And he goes, yeah, but Dad never really told me. They're trying to pretend they're not who they are. Like Ivanka is married a Jewish guy. Her children are half Jewish. And look what her father does. I'm like, Jewish, oh my God. It's crazy. But
oh, this is interesting. What do you think about the crop circles?
Oh, wow.
They are of outside entities.
Yes, they're like messages. And if you, from what I understand, I'm not an expert on crop circles, but there are some that are legitimate. Sometimes people try to fake them. That's true. But they're a lot of times legitimate.
Oh, they're for real. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're messages or energy when you go into them. Like, it's like if you look at a spiritual symbol, symbolic, like shapes, like I like to work with pyramids and stuff when I do energy work. But if you look at certain symbols, or if you go into that energy, there's some places on the planet that are power places, or places where you can have a different understanding. It's like it gives you that. So I feel like that's why they're here. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. And listen, but there was an article about, it wasn't in this country, it was a different country, about jets trying to shoot down, what do they call them now? They're not UFOs, they're something unidentified, UAEs or something. Anyway, and I thought to myself, no wonder they're not presenting themselves to us. That's stupid. You don't shoot them down.
Yeah, because we can't handle it. There was a story, there was a lady who wrote a book in the 80s called We Are the Arturians. And she was out in New Mexico, and she was getting these visits from these beings, these star beings. And she wrote a book about it. And there were other stories where the Arturians, which are a very loving planet, where horses and the Christos, the Christ energy, comes from. So they came in around this cabin, and the people in the cabin got out their shotguns, and they're like trying to kill them. And so you can't just, we're very fear-based. Some people.
Yeah, people are like, when are they going to announce? No, because some people, especially somebody like Putin or some crazy or Kim Jong-un, would send bombs at them.
Yeah, so I don't really, I have had alien I've known people who have been up on ships or been abducted. And my friend over here on the other side of town, she gets them, like, lives in this vortex kind of area in Petaluma, where she said, yeah, I woke up and there was a guy walking through my house like a little person.
Oh my
And
God. Does she have cameras
she
going?
said, what? No, she didn't take a picture. She said, what are you doing? She sees them all the time in spaceships over there.
I
And
love it. She needs
she
to put
said-
cameras in the
she
house.
said, she said, what are you doing? Why are you here? And he said, well, we're observing you. And she's
Yeah, that's
like,
all they want to do. Yeah.
okay. So she has that contact. I saw a spaceship out this window once. Once I went up and cleansed this lady's house, and up in it's Hopland, beyond Hopland, it's some little town. And she bought this place, and she said she had cancer, she had been attacked, another person died of cancer or something up there, and she wanted me to come cleanse her property. So I get up there, and up on this mountain there's this big rock with an Indian or alien hieroglyph on it, and the natives were friends with them, and they would contact the natives. And she said, well, I don't she didn't like the natives. I'm like, what? And she said she hired this guy to chop, because he was cute, she's single, to chop down all the trees on her property because she wanted them there. And I said, they are angry, the natives and the aliens are angry that you're chopping down all the trees, and you need to stop this. And then
Did she listen?
What? No,
listen?
no, she had to move from there. I told her, so I was standing there, and she said she had been pushed and stuff, and she was just being hostile towards them and the native energy there. And this being came down from the sky and dropped in front of me, and it startled me. It looked like a Native American or a Ninja Turtle, and he was swinging around like this in a circle. And I thought, was he going to karate chop me? So it startled me. So I just energetically went like that and threw this energy at him and knocked him away from me, which I probably shouldn't have done, but it just scared me. I didn't know what else to do, because I'll fight you too, but I really don't want to fight an alien. And so I said, look, you need to make peace. You need to go find the native shaman here and ask him how to make peace with the people who live in your area and the aliens, or I don't think you should be here. And so I left, and they followed me home. There was a spaceship. I was in this house out the window, and it was there for like a week. I got really sick. And I said, look, I am so sorry. You scared me. I didn't know what to do. And they didn't hurt me or do anything. They left me alone after that. They didn't
make you sick?
But they're letting me know, yeah, we are here. What?
They didn't make you sick?
The whole thing, I think just being in her house around all that negative energy just exhausted me. And so for some reason, but I was with my guides, and I was like, help me out, guys. And they were like, just stay here and shut the frick up, just relax and rest. And they're gonna, but they just were letting me know, yeah, we are here. And they followed me down, and it was out the window. I could look up and see the spaceship, and I'm like,
what color was it? Was it like a disc, or what did it?
Yeah, it was like some kind of a light or a disc. That's all I could see. And so, I just said, look, I'm sorry. I threw the light at you, but I didn't know, I was just startled, because he looked like he was swinging in a circle, like he was going to, because she's been knocked over there a couple of times. She went flying off her front porch. I'm like, well, okay. So I said, look, I can't, you need to go to the shaman. I can't help you. But so I've had an experience. And so, but some of my friends, another friend in Texas, he said they came into his house and he was talking to him. I'm like, you weren't scared or nothing? And he said, no. I don't think he'd been abducted, but I've worked with other people who have had abductions, who either had children that were aliens that they went and saw.
I've had friends like that, yeah.
Yeah. Or this one lady, she said when she was a kid, on her front porch, the whole street had this light, this ship that landed, and everybody went out in their front porches, and she was looking with her mom. And the next thing she remembers, it was morning, and she woke up and she doesn't know what happened. And so then she said the only food she could eat was like cookies and cupcakes and cake. She couldn't eat regular food.
I wonder
And
why
she
that
kind of
is.
looked alien-like. I don't know. She just was like, because that's
She needed sugar then.
what?
She needed sugar.
Yeah, I don't know what she just had like a different. Sometimes people with alien DNA or something, like I'm different, but I've been here for a long time. I know I'm very different and weird, but anyway, so there's stories.
You know what? I thought even somebody like Stephen Miller, do your DNA and show it on public, because you'd be surprised some of these people so anti this or that have it in their bloodstream. They have DNA. Because even like with mine, my native was there. And some people have their DNA done and they're surprised that their native blood isn't showing. And that's because a lot of the native tribes haven't presented any DNA. So don't think you're not, because it's just because certain DNAs aren't in there. But anyway, so I found out my 5th great grandmother was Jewish.
Oh.
On my dad's side. And I found out that I have 3% African.
Yeah.
From Togo, Africa.
Oh, cool.
So
you're the international woman.
I'm an international woman. I'm telling you, I was so proud of that.
No Asian.
No Asian. Well, the tribe has Asian in it, you know.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because they probably came over.
They came from,
Yeah. That's what I said. My grandson, you're Irish, you're German, you're Jewish, you're Navajo and Spanish. His mother's side, they were Navajo and Spanish, and they had the gift. They really, and a little bit Cherokee. And I'm like, the only thing you don't have is Asian.
Right.
No, except for the Indian, which
the native will sometimes have. So Rita says only 19% of colleges use race as a part of the entrance requirements. It's a big deal, but not all colleges use this to select students. Well, you know, the Chinese and Japanese were getting very upset because they went by a quota or something like that. So, because if it opens wide open, and nobody says what nationality they are, it's going to be mostly Chinese and Japanese. They do 95% on the tests. They're extremely smarter than the rest of us. Okay, here we go. Well, OSHA charged Abbott of Texas with workplace abuse, making them labor. Did you see that? In 120-degree heat? And he said, no, they don't have a right to have breaks in water. Put his happy rear in a wheelchair in the blazing heat with a sweater on, and then tell him he can't have water. So I see someone actually dying.
Yeah, they're going to do something.
I see somebody dying in a huge lawsuit.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, yeah. Out here, let me tell you, we've got big freeways being built. When that weather gets over a certain amount, I think it's 100. I don't know. They stop. Yeah. If it's storming, they stop. They stop.
Yeah.
No matter what. And they have trucks with water. They have bathrooms.
Yeah. California does some cool stuff. I know we got issues, but we did some cool stuff too.
And today a bunch of laws passed in Florida. You can conceal carry without a permit, except in airports and someplace else. And probably one of his gigs, you can't carry a gun. And you can, what else? There was something else with you cannot hire anyone that is undocumented. So all the people that would work their fields and work, you know, there's a lady who owns the nursery. She can't get anyone. Because your white kids aren't going to do it. They're not going to do any sort of hard labor. And so what's happening now is that their grocery shelves are empty. They're having to pay people to come in from other states, but they're going straight downhill.
Yeah, I don't see DeSantis winning the primary.
Oh, it's not even a breath that I should spend.
Okay.
He is so unpopular. He is so, let me tell you, even Florida can't stand him.
I don't think he even likes himself. No.
It's just so weird. He
looks like he stepped in it. That's when I look at him. I look like it smells.
Listen, California can be very, costly. My son is a land surveyor, and when he works in Sausalito, by their laws, you have to pay land surveyors like almost $300 an hour.
Oh,
It's like, whoa, some sort of thing they passed, and you got to pay them and pay them fast.
yeah. Now we have the sheep here, and they passed some law to eat the grass so that we don't have fires, and they passed some law where you have to pay. The sheep herder said, well, we might go out of business because you have to pay them so much.
Oh, they didn't used to charge them for pay? I thought we always paid sheep herders.
No, the law changed, and all I know is they were complaining that we don't know if we can stay in business now because we have to pay so much more for sheep herders. But I remember when 45 got elected, and after a couple months of that stuff, there's a lot of Hispanic population in this area, a little bit of African American, but a lot of Hispanic. And I would look into their eyes, and it was different. I would just see fear, or people would acting more polite. I thought, wow. And I remember thinking, which was really not very spiritual or nice, thinking, I'm glad I'm white. But I just felt like they're just, remember that in the beginning of the Trump years when he was saying, build the wall, we're going to stop these sanctuary cities and round everybody up and all that? Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And that Stephen Miller, and we're going to take your children away from you. That'll teach you. Tony in Quebec said Canada workers are protected by labor laws that have limits on temperature. That's the way it should be. These are human beings, you guys.
Yeah.
And as far OSHA regulation, so he overdid the OSHA regulation. There is regulation.
Trudeau?
Whatever he just did, this Texas governor, someone's going to get hurt or die from what he did, some heat stroke or something. I see a lawsuit coming in and OSHA finding him out the yin-yang.
Yeah, it's so hot there. I remember getting out of the grocery store, and I was afraid am I going to make it from the parking lot to the store?
In Texas?
I mean, that's how hot. Yeah, it's hot. You don't even go outside. You just walk from your car to the wherever. I can't imagine working in that. Yeah, I feel like he's going to have a legal battle on his hands. He's going to Abbott. Something's going to happen with that. You're right.
Patu said, why doesn't anybody talk about the woman behind Ron DeSantis? I've seen a lot of talk about her. How about you? Casey?
His wife?
Yeah, she's a, what do you call wife? Stepford wife.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a nothing.
He's so
nobody.
amazing. My husband is so great.
No, she's a Stepford wife, and they're going nowhere. They went overboard, absolutely overboard. There's nothing in his administration that people want to do. Oh, the hottest I've ever been has been in Phoenix, by the way. Yeah. It was 118 degrees when I landed.
Oh, yeah.
In those days, you had to step outside. Now they have a shuttle that goes all the way through to get the bus, to go to the car, to rent a car. It was so hot. The guy had the air blasting in the bus, and it didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But I remember that absolute, like you walked into an oven.
Yeah, they might have it so you can have what my guide showed me is like air-conditioned domes and then tunnels going.
Yeah.
So you can walk from one place to another. But I love how you predict the earthquakes. And I mean, I don't like the earthquakes or natural disasters, how you're just right on about that. So I started.
I don't know why.
I've done that a lot.
The guides do that.
What?
I don't know why the guides do that to me, but they tell me.
Well, you have a natural talent. I started trying to tune into it, and I was like, I would walk outside and I'd just be like, it feels earthquakey. And then people start driving weird or getting like road rage or something.
Yeah.
So how do you pick up on that?
On what?
Your guide just show you a vision or
but they also told me, kind of that fasten your seatbelt, that it's going to be Armageddon weather coming up. A lot of
Yeah.
scientists have predicted that, but they showed me. And if you look at what's happening with these Armageddon heat waves, tornadoes, there's another thing that destroyed a whole bunch of places. It starts with a D. It's called a Diago or something like that. We, by the grace of God in California, got Armageddon rains this year, which is great, which gives us some, we're not in a drought as we were before. But we got earthquake situation coming up. And I can't tell you if it's because somebody says, I really feel an earthquake in California. California is practically the whole length of the United States,
Yeah, Southern California, it's almost like another state.
Yeah.
It's completely different energy. And then if you go up north or out in the boonies, then you're in another, Tahoe or Shasta or something. It's different. It's a little more like Northern California. But so what do you see the earthquake for, Southern or Northern?
I see at middle.
Middle.
I said that.
Yeah. Well, just when you said that, I could see it.
And I see more towards Washington or Oregon, but it seems like it's off too, but it's pretty good size.
Yeah,
I can see good size. Sorry.
Yeah, so people a lot of times my people that leave comments and stuff, they get hits on things, or they get, because we're all feeling and picking up intuitions and stuff. So, but when you say that, I can feel that, like my stomach just goes, oh, it feels like, oh, that's an earthquake.
Well, remember that 4.1 we had in here in Santa Rosa? Right. It was only like 3 or 4 miles underneath the ground. Woo, my house shook.
Oh, yeah.
My poor Jack was so upset.
Oh, the animals know. The animals know.
But my house, I have cameras everywhere.
Okay.
And my son clipped the camera portion out that it shook in this room here, and it was so loud. And boy, the news stations picked it up because I forwarded it to, might have been Carolyn, and they played it on the news. And I posted it for my peoples too on YouTube. And it shook. And you could see Jack with his tail down between his legs. He didn't know where to go. He went to the kitchen and he went back. He didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
He's so very, very sensitive, that Jack is.
Yeah. Some dogs. I used to have this dog that would freak out on 4th of July. So I finally realized if I tranquilized him, then he would just be flopping around, trying to walk, going, ugh. I mean, he tried to jump out windows or jump into the bathtub and get into little tiny spaces. I'm like, there's no way you can even fit in there. He's just freaking out from the fireworks. And
so what do you finally have to do?
Well, I figured out if I put him to sleep, tranquilize him before the fireworks start, then he'd just be knocked out. And we could be, but there was nothing. I'm like, 4th of July, I have plans to stay home with my dog because he's going to be freaking out.
My dad, we had a dog named Moochie, another Moochie before the dog I had. And my dad used to give it Valium.
Yeah. I gave him the other one was smaller, and she used to bark at the fireworks, but she wasn't upset. She tried to help him. And then she's finally just going like, you're unconsolable. I can't even deal with it.
Now, this is interesting. Jack, you can hear them and stuff, but he doesn't react, but he reacted to the earthquake.
Okay. Yeah, they do. This dog I have here, he does not care about any fireworks. He howls at the fire engines. And I've noticed too, if they have the slightest little grass fire, we had a grass fire out here today in West Petaluma. There's like 20 fire engines there in 2 minutes. They're because they put it out before it starts anything.
Oh, girlfriend, I got the fireplace. The fire house is only a couple of blocks away from me. I just call them so they can come by and I can check them out.
Oh yeah, they can come check.
What was wrong, Linda? Oh, I realized later. I'm so sorry. I accidentally called you. I thought I had a problem here, but my toilet flushes now. So listen, somebody was talking on the news that there's a woman that the FBI is talking to, Jack Smith, and they're all swearing she turned on Trump. But a little tidbit here, she was taken to the Satan thing, And the guy said, and as Satan always does, they turned on her. The wife and Ron and his wife Casey turned on this woman.
Oh.
So she went back to Trump, and they said she went back to Trump with a vengeance in her head. She wanted to make Satan pay. But anyway, just tidbit there. So TR said, I just saw this in a tweet Saturday. Musk said that verified accounts are limited to 6,000 posts a day. Unverified accounts, the number drops to 600. I can't even post 10.
Who's going to post that many posts?
I know. And Musk, I thought he wasn't in charge anymore. I thought he got somebody else.
Oh, about Jack Smith, I got a question. Was Jack Smith Abraham Lincoln in a past life?
I didn't get that.
No.
You do?
It looks similar, same type of soul, similar energy, same type of purpose. A lot of times we come in with the same purpose that we're still working on. But and he could, he's tall and he has the beard. But okay. Yeah, I think Abraham Lincoln had a
he
different.
Could be. I'm not saying he's not. I just don't get it. Abraham Lincoln was a walk-in towards the end.
Okay, maybe that's what happened.
Abraham Lincoln got really sick and depressed, and the walk-in came in.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, so usually I know a walk-in because the person tells me I changed my name. Everyone says they don't know me anymore. I quit my job. I got a divorce because it's a new spirit. And I had this one gal, her daughter was sharing a soul with sharing one body with two souls.
Whoa.
And she's like, what happened to my daughter? And I'm like, well, and the daughter was telling me, I want to get rid of her, get rid of this person, that I'm in this body now. And so for now they're sharing the body because the mother doesn't want to let go. Anyway. But that's like a walk-in is where another soul,
whole different, and they do good
but
things.
But that fits with Abraham Lincoln. The other thing is that when a soul has a really big purpose or they're famous, they have a big energy, they can somehow make seeds or go into a lot of different people.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Christ energy, it's so you have a Christ-like energy, or the descendants of, which, we're all connected through whatever. So that can be with something like Jack Smith. He has a similar purpose, democracy and helping America, and very, and famous and out there during a period where, like Abraham Lincoln was here in the Civil War.
Right.
He was directly involved. So here we have Jack Smith.
But he was suicidal. I mean, you couldn't even say Eckhart Tolle he had been a walk-in, because he was at that moment of wanting to die, and something happened. A miracle happened.
Yeah.
And according to Ruth Montgomery, this is where I get my information from, based on her information from the realm, was that he was an actual walk-in, because people even said his whole personality changed.
I've seen it happen. It's very rare, but it's freaking amazing. I'm like, wow. But what do you think with
by the way, Sterling said Jack Smith was a knight of the Camelot.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. Definitely.
I also thought he was a good-looking hooker in San Francisco at one time.
Are you I thought you were joking.
I'm joking.
Okay. I can't tell. I'm so I can't tell when people are joking. That's not one of my abilities. You can tell I'm very naive sometimes. Yeah.
And Eve just said Trump is being greeted. I saw the video of this.
In Philadelphia with a chance of
crowd in Philadelphia was screaming. They were actually there's person saying F you traitor, but I heard F you Trump. All in success, everybody's screaming F you Trump.
Wow.
He don't like that.
Oh yeah. Well,
Jack Smith is hot. Girl, tell me about it, Ann. I get a crush on Jack. I had a crush on you.
Oh, you know what? Me too. I thought I was the only one, and I thought I shouldn't say that. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's married. I'm probably too old for
I
him.
get asked this all the time. Do you think Gavin Newsom could possibly be a president one day?
Yeah, I think he's gearing or vying. I get the word, whatever that means, vying or gearing up for that position, president or vice president. But he's not now because we have Biden. And I thought, would Kamala ask him to be vice president? But then you have two Californias. It is a white man, so she could have a white male. That's okay because she's a native, she's Indian and African American, I believe. Okay, so Asian and African.
I don't know why America has such a hard time with voting for females.
I don't know. Well, not so much. Yeah, well, they do. Yeah, because that's
everybody screams.
Like,
you vote for Biden.
Hillary.
If you vote for Biden, you're voting for Kamala Harris.
Here's my thing: is we've come like the Native Americans in some tribes. I know that they had the wise woman. They honored the women, and they were connected to the earth. And different cultures are connected to the earth. And look at us. We put on rubber sole shoes, electric. We have a foundation. We're disconnected from the earth. And when you become disconnected from the earth, the feminine energy, you can, now this might sound a little out there, like how is that? There's an honoring the earth. We are her caretakers. And some societies knew that. The ancient Egyptians were more one part, not the one that enslaved, but Isis, Temple of Isis, honored women. And so we have lost that. And there just was all this hatred towards Hillary. It's just, I mean, it's just, it was really strange. But I feel like, back to the question of Gavin Newsom, I feel like he is gearing up for something. Either
I think he's going to run for president. And listen, I hate to say this, not male against female, but he has a better demeanor in when he discusses things than Harris does.
Okay, yeah.
Harris is extremely intelligent too, but his way of presenting is better.
Yeah. He's very attractive, easy on the eyes. People like him. He knows about government.
As mayor of San Francisco, he was the first one to approve gay marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's outspoken. And so I think you're right, because for some reason, some people just don't really connect with Kamala. I do.
She's a go-getter. She's smart as
I do.
I think that Biden will be in for maybe 2 years, and then he has to step down for some reason, maybe his health. And then I see Kamala.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was seeing.
So that's what you need. You need to see how good of a job she does as president, and to keep the status quo, the people will vote her in.
Yeah, yeah.
So Gavin might not be running till almost 2030. So
yeah, but I do see him going in that direction. I think you're correct on that. And he would kind of
really
setting
hit
himself
the gun.
up.
He would really hit the gun thing. He would really hit it hard.
Yeah, he's not afraid to do things. He's not afraid to get stuff done. They're like, oh, we can't make waves. Oh, yeah, we need to.
I think Kamala will get on it too, but that NRA is going to try to make sure none of these people get in.
Yeah. I still keep going back to Biden with something with these court cases that have just the Supreme Court did. And I see him walking, and like the judges are back there, and he's opening gates, and there's not a lot of light. I feel like the court has gone dark. There's no light on like, I'm not seeing like, Supreme Court justice. They're sitting in the dark, and he walks in there, and he's like opening some gates, like he's going to put some people, he's going to do something, either legally, certainly, like you said, when he gets in next term, then the Congress will do something.
1,800 people are watching, girlfriend.
Oh.
Now, Harris being a president, she will be the first female president.
Wow.
because I do see Biden not taking the full 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I see her doing a real good job while she's in there.
Yeah.
She works more for both sides, where I see Gavin Newsom being a little bit more stubborn. So, somebody said Gavin Newsom, he was married to that gargoyle.
Yeah, he says it has a little history. Some people, my sister said, well, he had an affair or something. So what? It was like,
hello, look
he
at
said he was sorry, and it was years ago. And so, I mean,
wait, who had an affair? Gavin?
Something, she said there was something, I don't know if it was an affair or something about Newsom.
No, he was married to that gal that's with Don Jr. now, the one with the big mouth.
Okay.
I don't know if he had
looks
an
like
affair. I didn't hear about it.
Botox.
Yeah. He looked like one of those blow-up dolls. But she was just the cutest, smart woman. I saw her do the trial of that gay couple where the girl was trying to get in her door, and this lady let her dogs attack her and killed her, ripped her to shreds right in front of her. So they took her to court, and it was this lady. Was her name Kimberly or something? Gavin Newsom's wife was with the district attorney.
Yeah. Wow.
She was smart. She was pretty. Now she looks too like all the Kardashian or whatever you call them. I never watched one of those.
Doing drugs with Trump Jr.
What?
They're doing drugs, Trump Jr. For entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only. So that's it, T-Barb. We need the younger people. Like Camilla, and vote for Camilla. Let me tell you, it's these young kids that are going to take us out of this mess. So, what? Did you see this?
No.
Oh, entertainment purposes only.
Is that YouTube?
The marriage there makes me question Gavin's judgment capabilities. I would not question him when he was young like that than the man on the moon.
She was a different person.
Totally different person.
Yeah,
she was kind and smart and naturally pretty. He was probably drawn to her. Go get him attitude. She was a DA. She was working in San Francisco. She wouldn't be caught dead in San Francisco now. So yeah, I've made decisions to marry people that are totally, you'd say, what the hell were you thinking? Lots of times humans change, you can't base someone on a decision they made. If you do, then you're going to be stuck. So, oh yeah, that's true too. Kimberly was fired from Fox News for sexual exploitation. She turned into something else. Let me tell you, she became possessed or something.
No, I'm serious about there might be some drug use going on, because when you see Trump with the
always snorting. Well, that guy, that comedian, Noel, whatever his name is, he's on Twitter. He says, no joke, he wears diapers, and he also snorts Sudafed or whatever. Adderall. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Don Jr. looks to me like he's on something. They both do. And then she got, drank the Trump Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And so people change, and we have to me, we're all Americans. We have to allow people to come back.
But, if you're going to judge Gavin Newsom by someone he married years ago, this was before.
Well,
he was mayor of San Francisco, so go look it up.
Yeah,
let this guy hog all the news media. Trump, who's committed real crimes, been married how many times? But they give him a pass. But if someone's going to say
you married people or get involved with them that you have karma with, and it doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. I've had marriages and divorces. And the people I married, like, what was I thinking? But I learned something from every one of those. And it actually made me a better reader and a better medium than I would have been if I hadn't done that. My family could never understand that, but I knew that I did what I needed to do. And so that's how I see Gavin Newsom. And we can't, we don't want to judge people by the mistakes that I think it's too much. We expect politicians to be perfect and then never make a mistake. I can't say, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Like when I'm wrong, I say, okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's what a wise and compassionate person does that's more evolved. You can admit, but you're a politician, you can never admit you're wrong. People jump on you. So, and then we have the exact huge other end of the spectrum with 45, who's like a maniac criminal,
Yeah.
There's the dog likes me. He likes what I'm saying. There's somebody at your door.
Intuitive views in the house.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Kim, I need to write you about something. Remember our friend Julie, and they need information on something. I think you know what that's about.
Yeah, so don't judge people if they make a mistake. It's part of their learning. It doesn't mean they're he's less of a politician.
Right. This thing about Trump making innuendos about Ivanka. The guy that wrote the book, what was his name?
I don't know.
He's the first book that was written that he was allowed in the White House, and Trump was furious at him, but he told the truth about what went on. And he was when Trump was in The Apprentice, and he said, surprisingly, that Ivana, you know how she talks sweet and that, he said backstage at that show, she swore like a mobster. She had a mouth on her. And he said, and the father was attracted to her, of course. And then one day the guy from Kiss was on the show. And this is all in the book. You can look it up. And he made blatant, nasty sexual comments to Ivanka. She just sort of shuffled him off, but Trump agreed with him. That was his daughter. Oh, I'd like to. He says, yeah, right? He didn't say, how dare you talk about my daughter like that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that's the Gene Simmons. Yeah. The very first book. Do you guys remember that? The guy got carte blanche. And I was very surprised that she swears like a sailor. Like even Marilyn Monroe, that whole breathless thing was all a put on. That wasn't how she really talked. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
Can you spell pervs? Well, we've been on over an hour.
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're having fun, you guys. Thank you so much. I don't know if we answered a lot of questions because we were having too good of it. And I got a big mouth. So I love you all. Thank you so much for coming on. Tomorrow I'm doing Sterling, and I might just do a live you guys asking me questions. We were doing the live with Kevin and with Mel, the three of us, but Mel's got too much on his plate now. So I might just do a live with answering people's questions, like I do.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry if you didn't get your question answered because I was talking
if you want to join me tomorrow, you're welcome, where we're answering personal questions, not political questions.
Oh, wow.
If you want to join.
Sure.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for having me on your show, Linda. It was such an honor. So much fun.
All right. It was fun having you. And all her information's on there. Thank you, you guys. Love you all. Cheers.